It's all bullshit, folks. It's all bullshit, and it's bad for you. I have a very low tolerance level for stupid bullshit. Don't be bullshitting, people. Like I say, there's enough bullshit as it is. Bullshit is the glue that binds us as a nation. Nobody questions things in this country anymore. Nobody questions things. Children who want to read are going to read. Kids who want to learn to read are going to learn to read. Much more important to teach children to question what they read. Children should be taught to question everything. To question everything they read, everything they hear. Children should be taught to question authority. Parents never teach their children to question authority because parents are authority figures themselves and they don't want to undermine their own bullshit inside the household. So they stroke the kid and the kid strokes them and they all stroke each other and they all grow up all fucked up and they come to shows like this.
Yo, I had a moment where I could've changed the path I've chosen. I said, fuck that, I don't like keeping my options open. I like my path narrow, straight like an arrow. When music's almost dead, they said it needs that bone marrow. I got all caught up and messed up in my head about it. Got all upset about it, when I then read about it. The more I tried to let it go, the more that was said about it. Have an Italian friend named Fred, he said, forget about it. So I made 2 songs, flew right over to Tucson. Did a show, got booed off stage, said fuck AZ, then moved on. Found a bar with the hoops on, drank there for too long. Then booked an escort half price, the daily deal on Groupon. It didn't fix my issues, my problems on repeat. I'm still trying to get my ink to page and let it breathe. Indelible infusion staining up the beat. And if you listen close enough, you'll hear genius when it speaks. People tell me things will coast on by, things will float right by. Then they tell me to protect my neck, they say what's your step? So I tell them you can coast on by, you can float right by. I ain't asking for advice you give, so leave me to the life I live. Cynic, I don't buy into the gimmicks. I do it a la Antix, but no one seems to dig it. And maybe I'm a bigot, cause truthfully I figure you're a common denominator and I'm a prime fucking digit. So ribbit, I jump from out the skillet. I know when something's wrong, don't need to cook a life to feel it. I'm Hitchens, you're resilient, this didn't just begin. As far as I'm concerned, being stupid is a sin. I used to get offended when people would begin talking all the hoopla, but now I just pretend I'm in my little place where the world ain't getting in. And hopefully they'll stop with the cowboys and Indians. Went back on Groupon to find a girl again. Instead I got a pedicure for me and a friend. But I got none of them, yo, they whispers in the wind. So fuck it, I grow a couple other legs and go again. People tell me things will coast on by, things will float right by. Then they tell me to protect my neck, they say what's your step? So I tell them you can coast on by, you can float right by. I ain't asking for advice you give, so leave me to the life I live. Cynic, I don't buy into. Cynic, let's get by. Cynic, I don't buy into. Cynic, let's get by. Cynic, I don't buy into. Cynic, let's get by. Cynic, I don't buy into. People tell me things will coast on by, things will float right by. Then they tell me to protect my neck, they say what's your step? So I tell them you can coast on by, you can float right by. I ain't asking for advice you give, so leave me to the life I live. People tell me things will coast on by, things will float right by. Then they tell me to protect my neck, they say what's your step? So I tell them you can coast on by, you can float right by. I ain't asking for advice you give, so leave me to the life I live.